Live. Let's do it live. Okay, awesome. I think we are on. And we got it. All right. We are back again. I think I'm a couple minutes late here. Sorry about that, everybody. Michael Hodges. Awesome. Great to see you. Michael's here. Okay. People are slowly jumping in. I'm just a few minutes late here. I was just running a little bit late this morning, but that's okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Share with us your where you're coming from and what the weather is like in your area. It's hot here in San Diego. It's humid, a lot of humidity. In fact, I'm just eating fruit and water this morning for breakfast. Lots of water. Drink lots of water. Got family members being rushed to emergency because they're just not drinking enough water. Summertime comes around and we stay in our wintertime routine and we forget that this weather out here dehydrates really fast. Really fast. Sunny and a little bit cooler, low 90s in Nashville. I'm sorry. To us San Diego people, that's hot. That's not cooler. That's really hot. Yeah, I know people moving to Texas from San Diego because they're getting a good deal on property, but it's not San Diego. Uh-oh, Michael making another comment here. It's been high 90s the last couple of weeks. Oh my gosh. So your air conditioning is running all day long, right? We want to know, we here on Twitch at the Blender Roundtable Discussions want to know what you're paying monthly for electricity. It must be high. Awesome. Okay, so I figured this week, I don't even remember what we did last week. Time flies by so quickly. Let's share my screen. So let's share my screen. Let's share the entire screen. And let's share screen number one. Well, actually, seeing as screen number 3 in Twitch, at least on StreamYard. So let's see. Wow, 200. Okay, so so you have TVA? That's the name of your electric company. It's not too bad. 250 a month. Yeah, that's high. I guess it could be worse. I mean, there's places that's much worse than that. Wow. So let's see. I'm going to copy for anybody who wants to come on and share. If you want to share your portfolio, you want to share a technique in Blender, and or if you're a LighjtWave person, because we originally started as LighjtWave people, and then we transitioned to Blender. So to share live, you can come onto this link. There we go. And share live. You can come onto that link and join live. If you want to send this link to any of your friends to come and join us here at the Blender broadcast, all right. I'm going to put that link now too. So I'll say to share with your followers. You can send them, just copy and paste this link and send them this link, and they can come and jump on and join us. All right, so you're the Tennessee Valley Authority, huh? I wonder if my dad lives in Tennessee. He's near the Memphis area. All right, so once again, to share with your friends and followers, I've just put this into the chat box to jump on live to share with us in person if you have anything to share. Only come on if you have anything to share. That's the link for the StreamYard. All right, looking for my stylus here. There we go. So a lot's been happening. I'll share with you a little bit. A couple of things are happening. I'm already on the way to creating a educational Blender website, which we're thinking about setting up some type of a small, monthly fee for you to access all of the content. That's on the way now. Been doing tutorials and sending them in, and guys, tell me, what type of tutorials do you want to see for a website of that for that nature? So if I'm going to create a Blender educational site where you can go on and start with the beginning level, the basics of Blender, and then I'm splitting the site into like probably a beginning, an intermediate, and then an advanced sections. So what would you guys like to see? I mean, just throw it in the chat box. I'm very curious. Also, I'm going to go to YouTube here. I've been working with Trek World, which Michael Hodges here is a part of as well. And I'm going to go search for Trek World here. It's two separate words, Trek World. And you will find my weekly broadcasts here. And it's twice a week. Let's see if we can find one of the episodes I'm recording. So they're releasing two Blender 3D episodes a week. So what I'm doing is Blender modeling techniques for 3D printing. But they're all, here we go. There I am right there. There's one right there. In fact, here, I'm going to copy this link to Trek World for your convenience. I'm going to put it into the chat box, and there it is. Okay. So this is a great podcast. I mean, if you are a sci-fi Star Trek fan, there is no excuse for you for not watching this podcast. Jim, I guess he's the founder of Trek World, is an outstanding orator. He does a fantastic job. He just has a talent for it. And then he and I met. Actually, it was because of Michael. I think Michael was bugging the hell out of me to introduce myself to these guys. So we hit it off well at Wonderfest. Now, if you don't know what Wonderfest is, some people know, I think most here know, but others don't. Wonderfest is the largest, Wonderfest USA is the largest hobbyist convention. It's a scratch builders convention. So the models that you see, actually here it is. I'll copy and paste that link too, so you guys can go check that out. Michael made a comment here. He says, there's a playlist for your videos, Noob Trek. Let's learn how to use Blender. Okay, there's a playlist. Okay, cool. All right, I'll check that out in a minute. So everybody saw that, right? There's a playlist for the videos on there. The link I just gave you. Here, let me put in the Wonderfest link in here. And this is the link to Wonderfest. So basically, the sci-fi movies, which you all know and love, most of those ships are built practically. In other words, they actually build these things from styrene and, of course, and additional model parts. So this convention is all about scratch builders. It's one of my favorite conventions. I think this is, just look at some of the guests that were here for this year. I was there this year again, and some good names: Greg Nicotero, Marta Kristen from Lost in Space, and it's a Dotterman, I think is how you pronounce his name. David Alexander, our good friend David Alexander's there from NASA. Um, John Eves, a great for my great friend John Eves here. He's the guy that actually created and designed the Enterprise E, as well as the New Enterprise from Strange New Worlds. So he had some good, and of course, this show is over. This was in the late May is when it started. It's done. I'm there doing the Blender presentation. So I do a pre-con class on Friday. So it's a 2-day convention, Saturday and Sunday. And I did a pre-con. Let's see, this one now. Okay, this one's set again for June 5th and 6th for 2027. It's inexpensive. It's like $50 for the whole convention to get in, and then your flight there is nothing. I mean, the flight is it's really cheap, and you will love the convention because unlike the San Diego Comic Con, where it's packed with people, and you can never actually connect with the artists if you want to connect with them personally. At this convention, everybody here are builders. So Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, you got a lot of admirers, and they're there to participate in the imagination. At Wonderfest, everybody that goes there are actual builders, and they're there to learn. And it's a different crowd, which I enjoy. So as I mentioned earlier, I do the pre-con classes on Friday. So the show is Saturday and Sunday, but on Friday I do a full day, like a 8 or 9 hour class in Blender 3D on how to introducing you to the world of digital 3D and how you can apply it to your scratch building and 3D printing. And it's all of my classes are designed for 3D printing. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I also do presentations throughout the day on each of those days in Blender 3D techniques. So one of my favorite conventions, and it's inexpensive, and everybody who's on this particular broadcast that I'm doing, this Blender 3D broadcast, should be there. You really should be there. Um, all right. Any other comments or questions? Nope. Okay, I don't see anything else. All right. So we were talking about Trek Worlds here. Okay, now I'm still getting used to YouTube here. So there is a playlist, I guess. Let's see. Where do I find it? There it is. The playlist are here. So if we go over to the playlist here, let's see, which one is this. This is Trek Model Blender 3D. Which episode is this? If I click on it, commercials. I'm just turn off the sound on that because we don't need to listen to commercials. Okay, so this is episode 8. All right, so this is episode 8. So this is all free. Okay, so get a nice little introduction. That's this is Jim in his AI office. It's very very cool, and we started this broadcast by doing a 3D modeling of the TOS phaser, which is really fun to do, and it ended up being more involved than I thought. So it's quite a few episodes on this. So as you go, I'm going to kind of scroll through it, and you can kind of see a little bit. I'm taking you through building in Blender. So check this out. We've been getting some pretty positive responses on these particular videos. So let's see, what else can I share with you today? So once again, if you want to come and share, go ahead to that StreamYard link. We will be happy to have you on. It's always fun to have other people on to share things as well. This is really fun too. I just noticed this, that on Tested with Adam Savage, right? They're doing. He actually, when we started the phaser tutorials for the Trek World, Adam Savage started reviewing actual phasers that were used on set, which was kind of fun. And one of my students, which is in my personal Blender classes, which I'll share that with you as well, is one of the guys that the industry uses for verifying if the phasers are legitimate or not. Scott Nakata. And matter of fact, Trick World is we're planning on having a live broadcast, a live Blender 3D broadcast for all the followers. And Scott is one of the guests that will be on there as well. So he's basically, if you want to verify for collectors purposes whether or not the phaser you have is actually the one they used on the actual set for TOS, then he's the guy that the industry will call the verified. So Scott is sometimes here. He's sometimes here with us. So he might join us. I kind of reached out to him today and told him to come on and join us join us here. So all right. So what are we gonna do today? I don't know. I think we do some modeling today. Um, we're just gonna kind of make it up here. We're gonna make it up here. So what can we do today? So okay, let's go and grab my handy dandy folder. I've got a little folder here of reference files, and so whenever I have a problem, I'm trying to figure out, and I want to practice my Blender skills or my modeling skills, and I can't think of what to do. I just okay, go to the reference folder. I kind of build it up, and it's under my lessons, under my presentations. I have a separate one, a folder called the Twitch, which I'm putting all my Twitch presentations in. But I also have one here called references. So if I come over, look for my references, it should be in alphabetical order. And there they are. Okay, cool. Let me go here and make the images larger and check this out. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of look through here and kind of see, maybe we'll do some modeling today, and we'll model something. That fan might be kind of fun. Something like this. If I double click that there, and I'm gonna be kind of a fun one to do. Let's see what else we have. And sometimes I just go to the internet and look for ideas as well. Let's see. I think we've done this before. And I know I've done this in some of my classes, the little street lamps. Know what we haven't done before? You know what? What if we build some type of a diorama scene, like an interior using a photograph? That's something we haven't done. We could build a bottle, right? What if Now, this is something I do in my beginning Blender classes, which are coming up. In fact, I should probably mention, I should probably mention, let me go find it. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. All right, I should probably mention that the intro, the Blender 3D classes are coming up. So let me go to my chromeolution.com. All right. Workshops are here, and then Blender 3D is here. All right, so that intro is coming up October 25th. For those of you who want to get a good foundation in Blender, and because some of us have probably watched tutorials, but still confused about how and why Blender works. So this is the one for you. The advanced one's coming up in September 13th for those who feel like they're a little bit more beyond the beginning. The advanced modeling, definitely do that one. I'm going to put this direct link in the chat box, and for you guys to peruse on your own time. Okay, and there you go. That's the link. So check that out. All right. Well, enough shameless promotion. Let's go have some fun. Let's hide that there, and let's go and see what we can do. All right. I think this would be a worthy tutorial. I've never done it during the broadcast. I've always done this one during the class. And maybe what we can do is we can we build an environment and the interior using a flat photograph. So if I take this photograph and we're gonna build an exterior building, and we're going to build interior components, and put it into an environment. We're going to have streets. We're going to have something behind the structure. Build a whole diorama, so to speak, for this. I think this would be kind of a fun one to do. So let's accomplish that. Let's accomplish that. Let's go over here. I think you're going to find this one really fun because I always get a lot of questions. Can you take a photograph? And I always get this all the time. Can I take a photograph and change it into a 3D object? That's basically what we're going to do right now. We're going to take that photograph. We're going to turn it into a 3D object, but using all the textures and the photographic imagery associated with it. All right, so this is a neat little a tutorial that a lot of people don't realize Blender does. So I'm gonna go to the front orthographic view, and we're gonna bring in our photograph real quick as an editable image, right? Not as a reference image, but as an editable image. So shift, let's go ahead and maximize this here so you can focus on Blender alone. All right, let's see. Let's go Shift A, a good old shortcut for bringing in other objects. We want an image, which is right down here, kind of in the center. We want to come over here to a what's called a mesh plane, right there, a mesh plane. I'm going to grab it. Okay. So now the first thing I need to do is this. Let's save this file first. Command Shift S. We're going to save this into my good old handy dandy lessons folder. Inside my lessons folder, I'm going to have my 0 presentations. Inside there, I will have my Twitch. Right down in here somewhere, alphabetical order. Twitch presentations. Yeah, looks like it. Twitch presentations, reference images. Yep, I'm in the right folder. Lantern final images. Let me check something. I want to go back up real quick. There we go. All right, so we're in the presentations. I will make a new folder. We're going to call this one Street Scene. All right, and we will save everything into the Street Scene folder. We'll call this blend file Street Scene. Okay, cool. All right, now Shift A, image. Let's go get our mesh plane. All right, so now what I should do is this. Let me cancel this. I'll show you what I should be doing. I should treat every folder for every project separately. Okay. So I will select this image here. I'm inside of Windows Explorer now. All right. So go to my presentations, go to my Twitch, which should be right there. Street Scene is right here. Make a new folder and call this folder reference images. And this is a consistent nomenclature that I use for all of my projects. Double click it, Control V. If I come up here to view and say large, there's my reference image. Now I'm gonna go back to Street Scene. I'm gonna make another folder called images because we're gonna go to Polyhaven. We're gonna grab other PBR images to use for this particular project. So put in images with a capital I. We're going to just set it up ahead of time right now. Don't need it right just yet, but we will eventually. All right, let's go to work. Let's go back out of here. All right, Shift A. And we're going to go to images. We're going to go to mesh plane. And immediately there's my reference images. Everything's set up in a folder, ready for me to access and to start working. Double click on the reference images, double click here. And now if I hit my period key to bring it up close, we don't see it right now because we need to be in our materials view. So Z key on the keyboard, which is a shortcut for accessing all my various views, go to my material view, and there she is. We can see everything now. So now what Blender has done is taken that image and matched the exact dimensions on a standard plane. Okay, that's all this is. Now this is going to be the fun part. We're going to go into Blender and we're going to um, turn this plane into a 3D object that matches all of the photographic detail that we see on this building. Okay, this is going to be fun. Um, and then, of course, we're going to build around it too. We're going to build a whole environment around it, a street scene, and all of that. Now, the first thing I like to do is this. I like to have a reference, a real world reference, because if we're going to be bringing this stuff into Unreal Engine, then it's got to match real world, you know, dimensions. So let me bring this the bottom of the building to the base of the you know the floor plane here, which is this red line coming right across. So I'm just going to drag it up like this and place it right about there. So if I zoom in close, you can see the little red line right over here. I want the base of this to come up a little more. Let's go bring this up, and somewhere right about there is good enough. All right, now my image is a little bit too opaque. To assist me, I'm going to bring down the opacity a little bit. So with it selected here, I'm going to come down. Let's see. I may not really need to. Actually, I may not need to do that. I'm not going to worry about it. I won't need to do it. You'll see why in just a moment. We'll just leave it the way it is. We're going to bring in a character. Now, you need to have Rigify installed for this. So under my edit menu preferences, go to my add-ons, make sure Rigify, R-I-G-I, right? Make sure your Rigify is installed, right? Or it's checked. So all you do is make sure it's checked. What this does is it brings in various styles of armatures. So if I go to Shift A, not Shift A, there we go. And I'm gonna go to armature. Over to the right, I got a single bone, and I've got Rigify meta rigs right there. And I've got a human. I've got look at the animals. We got bird, cat, horse, shark, wolf. We got the basics over here. Basic human, basic quad. Doesn't matter. Just click. I'm going to click the human right there. There's human. So we can immediately see that our proportions are way off. All right. So that human is human height. This is a 1.9 meters. And if you don't believe me, well, you can just come over here to the left-hand side, and the fourth button from the bottom, right over here in your navigational tools, click on the measure tool right there. Start at the base of the feet of the character and drag a measurement all the way up to the top of the head, and that's 1.9. That's human height, right? So we want everything proportional to that character. So that's the fastest way to kind of make sure everything is going to be proportional to us. Is just to bring this in there and resize it quickly. Okay, so if I want to get rid of that that measuring tool, once I'm assured that this is correct height, hit delete key, it makes it go away. Select the image, and we'll just go over here to the front view again, and hit the S key and scale it up. And let's see if this is right. Now, I'm going to go to my move tool, Move this on up to the base again. Grab my character, bring it on over to the doorway, and that seems about right. Maybe a little bit too large. That's not that bad. It could be just a larger door, a larger building, but maybe I'll just bring it down just a little bit more. Just S about like that. Yeah, that'll probably help. Put this down at the base. Select my character as a reference. That's good. All right, we're good to go. I don't need my character anymore at this point. I'm confident that's the right dimensions. So I'm gonna come over here to the side to the character. I'm gonna lock them by hitting the white arrow and then turn off the monitor. Now we're ready to go to work. Okay, let's go create our building. Select the building, tab key, edit mode. As you can see, it's one plane with an image on that plane. It's as simple as that. We want to alter this into a 3D object. Control R, place your cursor next to a vertical line, and you're going to get a, it's going to be perpendicular to the vertical. It's going to create a slice perpendicular to that vertical line. Left click and drag it. We're gonna slice it at the very top of the building. We're strategizing now. Let's go to the bottom of the building now. Control R, add a slice to the bottom of the building, right there. We got the buildings, the top of the windows and the base of the windows. Control R again. Go to just to the inside of the windows here. Control R again, and go to the base of the windows, right about there. Okay, we have something else that I want to address right now. We got these little reliefs down here at the base of the architecture. I also want to simulate those effects. So I'm going to create a slice for all of those. So I'll just get in close so I can be a little more accurate. Control R and go to the top of the relief here. Control R again, go to the base of the relief. Okay, now what we need to do is do the verticals. All right, let's start with the outside of the building and the vertical lines to the left and right of the door and the left and right of the window. So Control R, put your cursor next to any of the horizontal line. It will divide the polygon perfectly in half. But when I left click it and hold, I can drag it to wherever I want to place it. I want it right here at the edge of the building. And if I get in close, I'm right there at the edge of the main structure of the building. All right, we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Come over to here, Control R, drag it on over to the main structure of the building by zoom in close. And if I'm a little bit off, I can hit double G and I can slide this on over. And FYI, you can see my little mouse symbol at the bottom left here. So whatever I'm doing in shortcuts, you can visually keep track of that as well. All right, now let's go do our interiors for our doors. So, but before I do so, let me inspect my lines, my horizontal lines. All right, I'm gonna double click this one. Go to my front editing view. Double G, slide it up to there. Good. Go down to the next one. I'm holding down, again, Shift and Alt to drag. That looks, I can move that down a little bit more. Double G, put it right about there. There we go. These are good. That looks good. Okay, I'm happy. All right, so I'm gonna go to my vertical edge. I'll get in close. Control R, click and hold and drag. Well, let me kind of pull back a little bit. I was a little bit too close. I'll double G it now and bring it over this way. Left side of the door, bring it back a little bit more. Control R, left side of the door. I'm just going to lay them down real quick so we're not wasting time. Left side of the window, Control R, right side of the window, Control R, left side of the window, of the second window. Pull it on over, Control R. See how it splices the actual face of the polygon directly in half? That's what this tool does, and you slide the line where you want it to go. Control R, left side of the door, Control R, right side of the door, Control R. See, it's all repetitive. There's no magic to this. All right, let me get out of that. Control R and that side of the window. All right, now I'm gonna get in close, inspect them, see if I got it accurate. That looks good. Okay, that one looks good. That one's a little bit off, so double click it, because remember, these are now separate edges when you click once, right? You want the edge loop, so double click the whole thing. It double clicks, it selects the whole loop. Get in closer like this, double G, slide it to exactly where I want to go. Come over to this one, double click, double G, slide it. I'm quickly going to go across, double click, double G, slide it. It's all repetitive. That one looks good. We're going to go to this one over here now. Double click, double G, slide it. Double click, double G, slide it. Almost done. Double click, double G, slide this. So it's perfectly, that looks good, and that looks good, and that looks good. All right. All right, here we go. We're making progress. Now, this is going to get fun. Now, we got these edges over here. I want to keep, just kind of go to the front facing view. Let's get in close. Let's talk about this real quick. Go to my annotation. I want to keep all this information over here, right? On both sides. So now I'm going to have to start splitting this up into n-gons. N-gons is any shape that's more than 4-point polys or 4-edge polys or 4-point polys. Control key and just erase that away while I'm in the annotation tool, and let's go and create this shape here. So the knife tool is wonderful. K for the first letter in the knife tool. It's going to find an edge to attach itself to. Left click, drag it. Left click, drag it. Left click, left click. It's a straight edge. The straight edge ends there. I want to simulate that curve. Just add multiple straight edges and then connect it. Now hit enter, done. Okay, so now if I go to face editing mode, which is a 3 key on a keyboard, and select it, there you go. You got a separate face that we can keep or delete. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Go to the opposite side. Right over here. We're going to do the same thing here. Go get the, let's see, look at the top in here. Oh, I think well, I tell you what, I'm going to delete that anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Well, maybe, can I actually select this edge? Yeah, that's going to be a pain, but I thought that was accurate. But I tell you what, let's see if I can still change it. If I can grab this one here, let's see if I can still do a double G. Okay, let's see if I can still do a double G. Front face, bring that on over. Double G, yes, I can still do it. Right there. Oop, I missed that one somehow. Okay, I was lucky. Okay, there we go. That looks great. Go to the other side. Let's get it done and stop wasting time. K, knife tool, grab it, grab it, grab it. So all the straight line, uh, free edge, and to here, and then here I've got a slight little curve. So, well, it's really a straight line here, and then it also ends right over in here. Hit enter, done. So now if I go to face editing view, I've got that, and then you also got that. You got to honor it. So, all right, there we go. Now let's start carving out our building, right? So all this extra stuff around the outside of the building, I don't need. All right, so I'm going to go to face editing mode. Let's go back to front orthographic view. Slide it all, select the bottom like that. Hit X on the keyboard for delete and delete those faces. Faces be gone. All right, do the top edge same way, real easy. Select it like that. Hit the X key, delete the faces, be gone. Go to the sides. This is what I like to do with the sides. You guys can do whatever you want, but hit the C key for the painting tool, right? So with that painting tool, you can adjust the influence of the paintbrush by scrolling your wheel up or scrolling wheel down. And in fact, before I do anything, I'm going to make sure we can see everything here. There we go. So now I hit the C key for my painting tool, and I can just paint in the areas that I want selected right there. Now, once this tool is selected, you have to deselect it to do anything else in Blender by hitting the escape key, then hit X, then hit faces, be gone. All right, cool, right? So let's kind of come over to this side here. C, adjust the size of the brush and paint it in. Escape so I can zoom in. Remember, we got this teeny little part over here. Make sure that's selected accurately. It is. All right, hit the X key and face be gone. There we go. So we're ready to make our building. All right, so this is going to get fun. So all right, we did a good job. We just kind of use our edge selection, making edges of everything so that we can use our imagination and basically cut out all the areas outside the shape of the building that we want to preserve. All right, so you probably guessed what we're going to do next, but what we're going to do is we need to extrude it out so it becomes a building. So we need an interior and an exterior. In addition, we need an interior. We need windows. We need doors, right? All right. We want to be able to see through the windows because we want tables and stuff to be on the inside and all that stuff. All right. So we're going to be able to see through those windows. So we're going to alter that a little bit. All right. So let's go to work. A key, face editing mode. That's the 3 key in the top left-hand corner of your keyboard. And E for extrude and Y for the direction we want to restrict it in and create our building. Extrude it on out, just like that. Okay. All right, we're making progress. We got a building. So we've got an exterior. If we go inside, we got an interior. That's all going to change, by the way. And we got these interesting little lines stretching across here. So we'll address those later. All right. And you guys are welcome to ask questions in the chat box. Just kind of throw in the chat box any questions. All right, now there's a couple of things I want to do next. Now that I got this extruded out and I'm excited about what's going on, I want to address these curved edges in the door, right? Right in here. So I'm going to address that now. So go to the front face editing view. And the curves are really mostly at the top. And we'll start over here. Okay. Um, I'm going to create a curve using the slice tool. I'm just going to keep it simple. There is other ways as well. I'm not, well, let's tell you what. Maybe might not be a bad idea. There are other ways. Let's do this. Let me take a minute, inspect them all. Yeah, I think this next technique is going to be pretty handy. All right, here we go. We're going to go to point editing view. Let's see if this works. It's just the top edges that's curved, right? Let's go grab just all those top edges right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bevel those points. We're going to add a bevel to those points. I'm going to get in close to one and inspect it. Control B is a shortcut to bevel. The bevel a point is Control Shift B. So Control Shift B. And if I move it away, you see what's happening? All the points at once are being addressed. If I use the scroll wheel, I'm going to bring this back, I can add the curve in there like so. And click it, I'm done. We've got a curve in all these at one time. I think that works pretty well. I'm going to kind of move it across. Yep, that's an efficient way to work. So I've got them all selected. It's all done. Now we're ready to start editing the faces. So I want to deal with the windows first. Go to my front face editing mode. I'm gonna select this. Now take a look at what I've got. See, I've got the curved edges in there. It's honoring the photograph that I have here. And if I go to the next one, shift to that one, and shift select to that one. So I'm going to create a window seal for this by extruding them inside. So E key for extrude, Y for the axis to restrict it on, and just push it in just a little bit, like this. That's all I kind of need. All right, we're starting to create our shapes, our 3D shapes here. Let's go to the doors. The doors is made up of several faces, right? It's not just one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the same thing with the other door. Holding the shift key, drag across, and I can select that entire shape. And it also includes those rounded edges up here. Now, if I hit the E key for extrude, I'm going to get, let me do that again. E for extrude, I'm going to get additional faces right down here at the base. See that stretchy little lines there? I'm going to get those stretchy right at the base there. However, let me undo it. All right, I'm going to undo Control Z. I have another technique. Instead of E for extrude, we're going to hit Alt E, and that's going to give me additional extrude options. If you come down here, you can extrude manifold. Select it, and when I push it in, I want to push it further back to the windows because this is the entryway to the door. A little further back, there we go. See, we have no additional polygons being left behind. All right, so very cool. That's called extrude manifold. We're making progress. Now, something we have not done yet, which I should have done earlier, I can kick myself for it actually, because I didn't do the vertical lines for the relief. Let's see if we can accomplish that now. Control R for the relief. Now notice, because of the n-gons, it's only going to create a slice so far, and that's fine. I'm just going to place it off to the side here. Again, front orthographic view. Control R again and just place it there. We're going to go all the way across. Control R. Control R. Control R. See, it's all repetitive. It's the same techniques. Control R. Control R, almost there. We're going to get every single one of these guys. Control R right in here. Control R. I'm doing as accurately as possible. So I want it as accurate as possible. So I have to go back and remove these again. Control R here. Go right into there. Let's go. We're almost there. Control R to the left. Control R to the right of this one. We got a little teeny one right in here. We'll honor it nonetheless. Slide it on over. We got the last end here. Almost there. Couple more to go. I've got a little piece here I need to honor right there on the edge. Doesn't matter. Honor it anyway. You want to match your photograph. Done. Double G that one to get that accurate. It looks pretty good overall. All right, let's go to our reliefs. All right, pull it back. Face editing mode. Hold Shift key and select, and I want to make sure I get this accurate. Select those interior faces all the way across. We're going to do them all at one time because time is money. All right, I'm going to go to a side view so I can inspect the depth. And I just want just a little bit of a relief. So E key, push it in right about there. That works. Now, if we get out of here and go to object mode, see, it's starting to look like the building. And from a distance, this is going to look fantastic but is it fantastic? Not really, because if we go to solid mode, this is all we've done, right? But because of the extra details and textures on here, it makes it look like there's more detail in than what's actually there. So if you look at some of those animated 3D cartoons like the Spider-Man, No Way Home, you see like a lot of the skyscrapers in the background and stuff. A lot of those are just photographs using this technique. They're not really complete, everything is complete detailed 3D. These are stuff in the background. All right, this is coming along pretty good. So we want to do a little extra. Now, if we look at the front of the building, we've got this lip right up here. So another thing I should have paid attention to from the very beginning, but no, we can correct that. I've got two lips. I've got this outer edge up here, and I've got this edge going across this way. And I want to extrude them out. So we're going to do the big one first. So Control R, and let's see what I can do. I'm going to go to the front. See, this is going to give me a little bit of a problem, and this is why I want to really pay attention to slicing this up from the very beginning because it's easier. So let me pull it up. Let me go to the front view. And I can easily do it with one stroke across here, but I want to see what the Control R will give me. All right, so because all these are now n-gons, it's not creating a horizontal. So what I'm going to have to do is this. I'm going to grab the knife tool, grab this point, and go all the way across like this, and then hit enter. All right, that's going to give me a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to go to knife here and click there. Is set. Is it going to? There it is. I didn't hit the enter key. It's my fault. Get in closer, knife, connect to that last point, left click, drag across, honoring the line in the photograph, left click, and then enter. Let's pull it back. I think we can go all the way across. So knife tool again, grab it here, and just bring it all the way across to there. Left click, enter, there. If you want to test it, double click it. All right, you've got your connected faces. Okay, one more. You got the top ledge here. So I'm gonna do this by going to this point here and then drag it across, all the way across like this, getting close. Left click, enter, done. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let's do this. I'm gonna undo that, guys. I'm gonna undo that for a reason, you'll see. All right, let's select this edge, right? I want to extrude this face out first. I want to extrude it out like this side is extruded out. So I'm gonna select this face, come all the way to the end, Control and Shift held together, and grab that. So it's not really a connected loop. So I'm going to have to come over here and just manually select these other faces. There we go. So whole section selected. E key for extrude is all I want right there. That's what I want. There. Now I want that other little lip to come out. Now this is where I will go in and select this. So that with that pulled out, let me see if Control R is going to work here. It works through some of it. There, I'll just go ahead and take it. Let me see if I can do any others here. It's probably not worth doing it. I'm going to go ahead and just do the knife tool. Probably be much easier. Go to the knife tool. Okay. Connect to the last point here, bring it across, click it, and then enter. Let's grab it here, knife, left click to connect here, pull it on back, put it all the way across. We'll just do this easy and simple. End it there and enter. There. Okay. All right, now let's go. Let's see if I can go to face editing mode. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and Shift and Control select. I'm going to get to the front. Oops. Get my shortcut, get my fingers right on the shortcut keys. It's an accident there. I want to rotate it this way. Control and Shift. All right, it's selecting more than I want. I'm going to undo it. We'll just manually select it real fast. So only reason I'm having to do this is because I did not set these up from the very beginning, which I should have, because I was getting excited and moving through and wasn't paying attention. There we go. We got it. So here, another extrusion. I'm going to extrude this out like the other. E and pull that out like that. We're just kind of faking the detail that's there, right? So if we go into object mode, that actual detail is, see, right along that edge, the actual detail is actually there. Kind of a fun little technique. Checking for questions here. No questions. All right, so now we're going to get into UV mapping. All right, this is fun. A lot of people, UV mapping is still a mystery to a lot of people. So if you look at this object, you notice that when I extrude it in there, the sides are getting these little strange little stretchy lines. It's because of UV UV coordinates aren't set correctly. The UVs aren't seeing this area. They're only seeing the front face of the building. They're not seeing the sides of the newly extruded interior. So we're going to correct that next. So what we're going to do, I think it's time for a 15-minute break. We'll stop here, do a 15-minute break. We'll come back and we'll start with the UV editing. Let's bring this on over. Let's get a handy dandy 15-minute timer there. And let's go get get this one here. And of course, we have commercials, which are so annoying. Skip it. There we go. All right. 15-minute timer. I'm going to mute my mic temporarily. We'll be back to do more detailed work on our building. It is almost that time. It is that time. Let's get rid of that annoying thing. All right. All right. Let's go back to work. All right. So let's deal with some of these stretchy issues here. I want to replace the rooftop with something. And I might want to replace the sides of the building with something else. But let's deal with these little interior issues real quick. And then we'll deal with the sides here. So this is a UV mapping issue, right? So if we take an X-Acto knife and we slice it along the edges and to spread this out on a flat sheet of paper so we can draw and paint with our crayons or airbrush or whatever we want to create the designs and textures. In this case, it's a texture of a building, and then rewrap it back around the object. That's essentially what the UV map is. It's basically it's at that flat portion, the flat aspect of this image on a canvas. So we're going to go over here to the UV editing tab. I think this will help us the most. And on my right hand side, I'm getting two windows here, and on the left hand side, I'm getting my UV layout. This layout is representing every face of this architecture here. So if I go to edit mode, we have to go to edit mode to actually do this. I'm going to bring it up. You get to see how this is being laid out. See? So over here are the actual faces being laid out. Originally, it was the front face of the architecture laid down on the proportions of the plane. And if I select on any of these areas, those are the areas that you're going to see selected over here to the right. So if I grab this window here, you can see it's highlighting. So what you're looking at is a flat version, a flattened out version of this 3D object. The problem is that the interiors did not exist when this was originally created. So when we extruded the interiors inward, and I'm going to select them here, they're showing up here, but they're showing up as a flat line. They're not showing out as a flattened out face. And what we're going to do is we're going to redirect or recreate a UV map for each of these sides now. So watch. I'm going to start with this first window. And I'm going to just select all the edges or all the faces that's going to represent that one side. And I'm going to go to X-ray mode here. If I go to the side view, number 3 on the keyboard, I'm going to get the side view of that selected face. I now want to create a UV map based on the shape of that selected face. Remember, the UV map is just the flattened out version of the actual 3D object. We have a view of how we want this flattened out version to appear. So all I need to do is hit the U key on the keyboard. And I've got an option in here and it's going to be called, what is it going to be called? Project from view, right down here. I'm forgetting what it's going to be called, or what it is called. Project from view. What this means is, however you're viewing this shape right now, that's going to be your UV map. Okay. So hit the U key on the keyboard for UV, project from view, and look over here to your left-hand side. You've got a new UV map right there. So now let's turn this around. Let's inspect this. Let's get out of X-ray mode, Alt or Option Z, and let's go into material mode so we can see the material results. So Z key in the keyboard, material mode, like so. Now look, over here is the highlighted shape over to my left. I'm going to select my move tool to move that shape wherever I want. Wherever I place it, that's what's going to show up there. If I want to put another window in there, I can adjust this to fit the window in there, right? In this case, I just want the stuccoed wall. So I'm going to bring it over here next to one of the stuccoed walls here. And then I'm going to go to my scale tool and just scale it down to fit within that wall. Something like this. Go back to the move tool, move it up or down. Now I'm looking at the bottom, this little baseboard type of a concept. And I can go to my move tool and probably stretch it out a little bit like so. And then I'm going to move it down toward that baseboard and watch it come up like that. So I'm going to match the baseboard, something like this. Okay. That works. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you have a wall now. You no longer have those little stretchy effects. All right, we can do the same thing to this one on the opposite side. I can grab this shape here, that entire interior, and plus that little rounded edge in there. Okay, and if I go to the side view, and let me go back to solid mode, the X-ray mode, I can see my shape there. All right, so view key, project from view, and it shows up over here on the left-hand side. And if I want to, I can use the same texture. I can place it right over the other, like so. Now, I like to see what's going on here, so let's go back to material view, get out of X-ray view, so I can see exactly what's going on. See where I move that makes a difference. So we want a similar texture to the other one, so I'm going to just go to my scale, push those in. There we go. See that? Now that's all wall, and the baseboard is coming up exactly where I want it to go. Isn't that cool? So all you're doing is you're telling Blender to remap those areas and place them onto other objects. So I'm going to go to material view back here, wrap it around. What else do we have? We've got, I'm going to do these interior ones with the doorways because that's the most noticeable. And I'm going to do the walls. The walls are going to be very, very easy. So I'm going to, well, in the walls meaning the interior of the window seals right in here. Okay, so let's go to work. Let's go to the doorway. Go on and deal with this one first, since it's the most largest area. That's annoying. I'm going to go grab that, move in close. Remember, grab those little extra edges in there. Shift key, select that there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to solid mode. It helps me. X-ray, go to the side view, complete side view, orthographic. So I'm gonna get a nice flattened out shape. U key, project from view. That's creating a brand new UV map. And once again, I can just, I'm gonna go grab that there. I can just move this. I'm gonna scale it inward a little bit. Get the move tool, bring it back over here to this texture. Come back, go to material view, and take a look at it. All right, moving that up and down. Get the baseboard in there. And I might want to, I think I might want to kind of scale this downward a little bit, like so. So I have less texture at the top and more of the baseboard texture at the bottom. There we go. That looks good. All right, let's get this last one over here. Should be there. Oops, grab that. Don't want that one. So that looks good. Just for your purposes. Now, normally I'm not switching back and forth when I'm working alone. This is for educational purposes. Go to solid view, X-ray, and then to the side. So just for showing you guys what you're doing is just squaring it off to the screen so Blender knows exactly what type of UV to make in terms of shape of the UV to make. All right, U key, project from view. Shows up right over here the right-hand side. And we'll just use the same old texture again. I'm going to overlap it right over here. Let's rotate that around, go back to my material view, get out of X-ray view, kind of inspect it, stretch it so the walls come outward. The move tool, push it downward a little bit. There we go. Kind of line them up. That looks good. All right. I'm just inspecting it a little bit. Not bad. Now we've got the sides of the windows. I think I can do these all at one time. Let's give it a try. So I'm gonna go to this window sills right in here. So go to, let's see if I grabbing the, face editing mode here. Let's grab this side there, that side there, that side there. Let's do them all. I think I got them all. I've got missing a couple. Shift, get out of that particular mode there, and shift. Okay, they're all selected at one time. And I'm basically going to give them all the same texture anyways. All right, so why not just have them all at one time? Solid mode, X-ray, go to the side view. That's the UV map I'm going to make for all of them. U key, project from view. There they are. Okay, we're going to go back to material. Get out of X-ray mode. Now you see they all take on the same texture. So wherever I move them, so I can do them all at one time. Now let's put them, let's give them this texture over here. So we're going to put on another section, and there we go. That looks pretty good. That works. So we undo. We got new texture there. See, both sides are all done at one time. Now the texture is repetitive. I mean, we can go in there and give it other textures, which I'm going to show you that technique next. But for our purposes, this is fine. Now I'm going to show you how to do it separately by giving the roof something different and maybe the sides something a little bit different. Okay. Now we need some help here. I'm going to need a site where I can go and download some textures. And we have our good old friend Polyhaven. Let me kind of bring it on over. We're going to go to Polyhaven. Okay. And Polyhaven, you've got assets. It's all free. And I've got some textures here. And I want something for the roof. And I need something for the side of the house. So we've got, let's see, for the roof, we got brick and block. Let's check that out. I'm going to click on that one. And we got all these options. This would be good for the floor. I like this. I like this square brick for the floor. So I'm going to grab that one. And we will download the 4K textures for this. So they're PBR textures. So you get all the various textures that's going to absolutely create the spectacular visual, aspects of whatever you're applying it to. So go to download, and we're going to go back to our actual folder, which is our lessons folder. So let me go find it. All right, it should show up here to the left. There it is. So under our lessons, 0 presentations. Under that, we've got Twitch. There it is. Double click that, and we have our street scene images. Now we're going to place all these in the images folder. Square brick for the floor. All right, now we need something for the roof. I'm going to go back, hit the back button. I saw something that's kind of tiling. Let me go back. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some of these categories here. So plastic, rubber, stone, concrete, ceramic. Maybe it's ceramic. Let's take a look at some of these. Yeah, here's some roofing concepts. Here, we'll go with this one. Dirty tiles. Grab that. Download that one. Put it in the same spot. Automatically defaults to it. And let's do something for the street. So for the street, we need a sidewalk. We need the street. I'm going to do some brick on the street. So I suppose we can go back to the brick and block. This could work for street. Yeah, why don't we grab that one? I'm going to download that one. And these are all zip files. All right, let's take a look at our image. Now we need one more. We need one for the side of the building, right? Okay. So we will go get it. Stucco. Let's see. That will be under concrete, right? Well, some of this might work for that side of the building. Actually, this one might work too. Concrete wall. Because if I look at the color of the side of the building, it's similar to this one. We'll keep that one in mind. We'll take a look at some others. No, this one might work too, or even these. Let's do this plastered wall. Let me scroll down just a little bit more, just see what else I've got. Oh, this one's kind of nice. It's another plastered wall, but a little more texturous than the last one. Kind of liking this one, gravel concrete. And I'm just going to scroll through, just kind of see if anything else strikes my imagination. I like this one here. Plaster clay plaster. Let's go ahead and grab that one and download it. And we're going to put it right in here. Okay, so let's go to our folder. Street scenes folder is right here. Images, and there they all are. So let's go open up the folder. So what we need is the images folder out of here. So I'm going to click on this to the edit the title and copy the title first. This is the brick floor. Double click on the zip file. And all I want to do is grab the textures and drag them on out like so. Now, edit the name of the folders and Control V. Done. Now I know what those textures are. We go to this one, do the same thing, copy this. Now double click it, grab the textures out, rename the folder based on the what's on our there we go, what's in memory here, dirty tiles. Click this one, copy this title. All right, double click it, grab the textures out. Rename this one. We got one more to go. Square bricks, Control C. Double click it, grab the textures out. And then rename that folder. Cool, all done. There they all are. So if we go into each one, we can see them all on large view. Let's go inspect each one. Go into this folder. We go to extra large view so we can see it a lot easier. All right, go back to images, go into here. Extra large, there they all are. It's looking good. I like to inspect them before I actually go in the Blender and play with them. That looks great. Yeah, let's go with this one. Looking to see any questions. No, everybody's quiet today. No questions. I'm going to get rid of this. So all of my textures are there. Why don't we go deal with the roof first? I think the roof one, we go back to our images folder, was it called dirty tiles? Let me take a look at that. Yeah, it was the dirty tiles. So we'll do the rooftop first. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of all these. These are all the zip folders I had open. So the roof is stretched. We have to redefine its UVs, right? So we will select the end of the roof. Actually, we need to select more than that. We'll select this corner. And if we go to the opposite corner, which is over here, I should be able to do a shift and control, and it should select them all. It doesn't select them all. All right, it's going to be a pain. So shift and control to here. I'll just shift select or shift drag select. Let me make sure I have everything selected. And I don't make sure that I don't want anything that I don't want selected, which I do. Control space bar will maximize this view. So holding the control key down, just getting rid of all this. We got more underneath that shouldn't be there. Okay. Yeah, somehow all this got selected. Didn't mean for it to. Yeah, go to the back side, get rid of all that. Sometimes you accidentally select stuff. Okay, now we got this front. You want this selected. Just bring it around, hold the shift key down. Let me undo that one, shift. There. We got a little more than we wanted. get rid of that. I'm going to get in close. Looks like I've got a little extra edges in here that I do want selected. Let me just go get it lined up with my, so I can hold the shift key and just drag all of this. I do not want this one here. I do not want that one there. Okay. Let's inspect it. I do want this one. All right, just making get all these edges accurate. Control, deselect all of this and deselect that. Oops, that was an accident. On Control key, there we go, and Shift key here. Got it. All right, so it looks like I've got the edges properly selected. Zoom back, zoom in, select everything. Okay, now I'm going to go swirl it around. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. All right, this is going to be my new UV map. So I will go to the top view. All right. Looks like I've got something odd going on in here. I'm noticing some things are selected and some things are not. Maybe that's a visual glitch. I'll pull it back. I'm going to trust what I've done. Okay. We're going to go to UV map. I think I'm going to select this as another object. It'll be kind of nice. I'm going to make this another texture. We'll go ahead and define this from view. Okay. So U key on the keyboard, project from view. There it is. Okay, go back to this view. So you can see it's taking on the textures that's there, but we're going to redefine that texture. Okay, we'll just leave it alone for now. We'll leave it sit there. Let it sit there for now. We're going to redefine that texture. Okay, so hit the period key. Actually, kind of come over here and hit the period key. And we're going to start redoing the textures. We brought in those extra textures, which is nice. So we're going to start defining it on the side. Let's go rotate around here. And let's start defining the side here. So all we're doing is doing the UVs. They're not going to matter here because we're gonna apply it to a completely separate texture. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and do that now. So if we come over to our materials view here, you can see that it's utilizing that photographic image for that texture. I don't want to use that photographic image for this roof. I want to use a whole nother thing. Okay. So now I'm going to hit the plus to accomplish that. It gives you a whole nother placeholder. We're going to hit the new button. We're going to rename this one roof. Rooftop or whatever you want to call it. And then what we're going to do is apply it to that roof. So to apply it, we just hit assign. See, it's changed. It's gone. Now, if you look over to the left, right, it's using the UV mapping here, but it's basically gone. Right? From the original texture. Now we're gonna put that texture in here. Now what I might want to do is just have Blender reorganize that UV map. I can do so. So with the selected U key, and I can say unwrap angle based or conformal or minimum stretch. I'll do minimum stretch. See, it stretched it out to the shape of the entire UV grid. That's what I usually like to do. So there, that works. Now we're going to go bring in our tile. Okay, so here's where the fun begins. So we're going to do the same thing to the side, but let's do the roof first. Going to focus on this first. We're going to bring in our PBR textures to place in the roof. Rotating it around, just kind of looking at the angle. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's go get those tiles. I'm going to come over here to shading. Hit the shading tab. It automatically gives me my nodal structure. Here's my shader that we just created when I applied that new material to it. Now what we need to do is go get the multiple images to place in the roof. We're going to use the Node Wrangler as part of Blender. Just make sure Node Wrangler is activated in your plugin. So edit menu preferences, add-on, and Node Wrangler is NODE. Make sure that is checked. All right, so once that is checked, select the principal BSDF so it's highlighted white. Control-Shift-T. Come on, let's get it right down here. Control-Shift-T. Interesting. Why is that not working? If I do Control-T, that works. So why is Control-Shift-T not working? Let me undo it. Control-Shift-T. Did Blender Foundation change something? Interesting. All right. So Control-Shift-T is supposed to select all my textures and bring them in at once. And I don't know why. Let's do it again. Control-Shift-T. It's not working. Very interesting. All right. Control-T works. Let's see if it's another shortcut. Control-Alt-Shift-T. Let's add another modifier and see if maybe there's been a change in Blender 5.2. No. So physically based rendered. All right. Well, there it is. It's worked now. So that's because StreamYard is connected to my graphics card. They're competing for resources, and that's probably what caused it. So we can go to our images menu. Automatically defaults. There's our images. There's our reference images. Go to images, double click it. And we want what? The dirty tiles. And double click it. It shows all of my images. Now, the ones I'm interested in are the top one. And let's see. Well, we can go with these here. This one, that one. And this is the image inclusion. Okay, we won't do that one. We'll do these here. The last four right in here. That looks good. Hit add principal. Now what it's going to do is it's going to connect it all together. See, that's what Control-Shift-T does. It will work on your machine, but graphic card resources are being competed. Now these tiles are huge, right? They're huge. We need a much smaller, right? Much smaller. Probably would have worked this better. So I'll come over here. I can probably just go here to the scale and left click and drag all the way down. Let me undo that. All the way down, do them all, and then adjust it to the right or to the left to make it bigger. So we're going to go to the right, make it much smaller. Yeah, there we go. I'll go with that. That's going to be the new roofing. Now we're going to go to the side of the building. and edit that. Let's go back to a UV map real quick. Let's go grab the bottom, grab all of this. Let's go inspect it. We'll just grab the sides. Solid mode, X-ray. I went to the side view, and what we'll do is hit the U key, and we'll do the same thing. Unwrap minimum stretch. All right. Here it is here. Now we want a whole new texture mode for this. See, this one is based off of the long one that we created. So we're going to give it a new material. So here, hit the plus, and we'll hit new. We'll call it store side. Be consistent. I'll make that a capital S there. Okay. And then we will hit assign. Now you see the UV map change in size. UV maps traditionally are completely square. So that's how we know it's worked. So if I go back to UV, unwrap minimal stretch, it's doing the best that it can. It's keeping the proportions within that square area. All right, let's go ahead and give this a, let's say, I'm going to redo both sides. We got two sides. We got this side. We'll do the same for the other side as well. So I'll come back. We got view. Let's get out of X-ray view. And I'm going to grab this side. U key. Unwrap based on minimal stretch. It's going to be exactly the same as the other. And we'll give this the same texture. So we'll leave that alone for now. I'm going to hit Control S. I'm going to save this. I haven't been saving all day, which is bad. Make sure you save often. All right. Now that the UVs are laid out, we can go ahead and add some textures. So that surface there, now watch. I'm gonna let's start from this side here. And this is the side wall, right? So if I come over here, side of the store, select it, and notice that, wow, both sides are selected. I like that. Great. So I'm going to assign it to both sides. And we're going to go get the material, because the material is already there. But we need to go back to the shading view and add that new material that we're going to pick for it. All right. So Control Shift T. Now it's working. It's behaving correctly. So let's go to plaster. I think it was the pattern clay plaster. Double click it. We'll ignore those up there, and we'll go to the 4 down here. I think there's 4. Yep. And add principled setup. It'll do it for you automatically. Scroll. You see what Blender has done. Added all the textures. So these orange ones are your textures. This is your vector math over here, the purple. Your coordinate structure, your texture coordinate in the burgundy. And of course, in green is always your shaders, the actual shaders that's creating the effects. So if we take a look at the sides here, see, it's on both sides. That's too big. I'm going to make it much, much smaller. So we'll go over to the vector for the scale, pull it down a little bit so we can see it. I'm going to zoom into the scale, left click and drag all the way down and drag to the right. Maybe something like that. All right. We're not going to really see the sides that strongly anyway. We can add more. It's not totally matching our building texture, but I may have to build a texture from the building from scratch. But we'll leave it there for now. We'll correct it later. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to, let's get out of here. Let's go back to our modeling. Okay, that's looking good. And let's go to our windows. Now, if you want to add a little more detail, like to the rooftop, for example, I want to select, actually, I've got a nice little selection already. I want to kind of add a little sunken area into the rooftop. I'm going to add, let's see, can I add the Control R? Yeah, and add another edge right about there. And I'm going to do one for the front as well. Control R, add an edge right about there. I've got an edge here, right there. That'll work. And this edge here will work for that as well. So now, face editing mode, grab all these interiors like this. Let's see what I've got here. I think I can just take this and E key extend it downward like this, something like this. So it's a little bit, just adds a little extra visual detail. All right, let's do the windows. We want to be able to see into the building. We want that to be glass windows. We don't want this to be that that closed up, you know, I guess a type of a theft guard. I want to be able to see in the restaurant, see the people inside. So we're going to grab all these windows right on the inside. And we're going to change them. We're going to give them a new texture. So I want to go close that out real quick. We're going to give it a new texture. Call it windows. All right. So come right down here to the materials. Right side vertical menu with the colorful icons, very bottom. Hit the materials button. Hit the plus. Right. Hit the new. Name that one window or windows. And what you're going to do is simply hit assign. There. So we're changing the nature of our texture here. That's cool. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to turn that into glass. I'll do the fast way of doing it for now. We will just come right over here. Our red globe on the very bottom, the right side vertical menu with the colorful icons. And at the top, underneath surface, we can see our principal BSDF designation. Right? This is accessing what? It's accessing your shader right here. That's all this is. This is the exact same thing as editing your shader directly. We're going to change this shader. I don't want the principal BSDF. I want a different type of a shader. So what I'm going to do is go back to my red globe here. Take a look at the sides, Principal BSDF. Click on the word Principal BSDF, and you got other shaders that come up. I don't want the Principal BDF, I can't tell you, BSDF. I want the glass BSDF. If I click it, all right, we've got it. Now that's the glass. I'm going to go back to the, I can stay right here in the shading mode. We go back to edit mode here. And I've got the windows right about already established. Now let's go get the windows here. So I thought we had windows already selected. So I'm gonna come right over here to my textures and hit select, and the windows aren't coming up for some reason. All right, so that means I did not have it selected. So I will pull this down like so, just so I can see what I'm doing, or control space bar, and we will just select the windows. Go select all the windows, holding the shift key and dragging like so. That's it. Okay, control space bar to get back, and we're going to hit assign. Hit assign. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Why is that not changing? We're going to find out. Is that another glitch in Blender or what? So we've got, oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong side selected. Oh, that's why, guys. I had the wrong side selected. Working opposite. That's strange. Silly me. It worked. It's right there. We've got windows. It changed. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go back to our modeling mode. Let's add a plane. Well, let's add a plane as a separate object. So we're going to go to object mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Control A to freeze everything, just so I feel comfortable. Shift A, mesh, plane. S key for scale. Bring it on out a little bit. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is kind of like just center it or something like this. Go to the top view and just eye it. Let's just center it to this. I can accurately do it, but it's just faster. Okay, that's my ground. Okay. Why don't we go set up some basic lighting just so we can see what's going on here and why we're doing all of this. Okay, let me go get out of here, go to solid mode. Let's bring in some lighting. I have lighting already set up here. If you look up here, I have a lights, camera, action. I'm gonna turn it on. And it would not be a bad idea to go and to set up the camera real quick. So if I bring this down at this point, something like this, and I might want to bring in an HDRI image, something like a nighttime image. Control, Alt, and 0 on the numeric side of your keyboard brings in your camera. I'm going to set it up so that I get the camera size exactly where I want it to be. Then the N key, and then I'm going to come right up here to the view option. And then go to my camera to view, so that now I can manipulate through my camera. So hit the N key. Now the camera is set up where it's always pointing at an empty. It's called empty.camera. So I'm going to select it and move the empty up. And see, the camera is always pointing at that empty. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit like this. and then bring the camera back kind of downwards. I like this here, and zoom in right about there. Now, empty camera, and I can push it down if I wanted to go down further. Let's make this plane a little bigger. There we go. I also have a similar situation with the lighting. So if I go to the light source, and let's hit the 0 key, go to the standard 3D view. Here's my light source. It should be pointing at my empty, called empty light. So if I pull this up like so, you'll see a light blue line, dotted line pointing at something. In this case, it's going to be the empty light. So if I select the empty light, it's just an empty. It's an object that I'll never render. It's sitting at the front of my building right about there. That's where I want the light source to point. Grab the light. I'm going to pull it just out to the front of the building, just about like there, right about there. Okay, so now we'll go to render view and take a look at this. Okay, someone's got a question. So Michael Hodges, are you looking at the backside? Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're addressing my earlier question. Yeah, you're right. It was. Silly me. We're gonna go to Z key. And we're gonna go to render mode. All right, and we can see already we have a light. I like to use. Well, I tell you what. I think this is a sunlight. I'm disappointed. I'm gonna go to the sunlight. Really bright. We'll do the sunlight just so you can see easier what's happening. The strength is about 1,000. Let's bring that strength down a little bit. So it's 1,000. We'll be bringing it down to 100. Yeah, let's